Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the TTUSD board meeting. Today is September 6th, 2023, and there's no one present for public comments, so the board's going to adjourn for closed session. We'll be back. Thank you. Welcome to the TTUSD regular board meeting for September 6, 2023. The board met in closed session and we have nothing to report. I think we should say Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Santos, you want to help us?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
All right, ready to salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, before we start the meeting, I just want to note that Trustee Lavak is out for the evening tending the family, and President Driller is out of town. Okay, so let's see. We need to approve our agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Is there any public comment in the room that is not related to any item on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we will move forward to our student representation. And why don't we start with Sierra High School? If you'll just step up, make sure the green light is on your microphone, and start with your name and your grade, please. There you go.
Sorry guys, technical difficulties. My name is Keith Stewart. I am representing Sierra High School, and I am grateful to be here tonight.
Hi, my name is Gabriela Graciano Pacheco, and I'm a senior in Sierra High School, and it's grateful to be here. We are pleased to announce that we have had a successful start to the new school year at Sierra High School, Coldstream Alternative and Turkey River program. It was also great to see new students and returning students. Everyone seemed to have a great summer break and really excited to start the new school year. At Sierra High School, we have several new staff members who started with us this year. We have an amazing new science teacher, Miss V, who came from us from Turkey High, and then students in science jumped right in with hand-on science lab activities. We've also had a new secretary, Miss Kim. Students remember her from ACMS, but she's also a really great addition to Sierra High. Lastly, we have our new principal, Mr. Santos, who has been a great addition to Sierra High and alternative programs. All three new staff members have really changed the culture at Sierra High School in a positive way. And teen parenting program is up and running. Teen parents have been taking advantage of STEP program services. A big thank you to STEP for offering these programs.
Miss Vey, our new science teacher, has been proving a lot of hands-on lab activities for various life and physical science classes. Students really seem to enjoy them and actually were sharing results with their friends in other classes. We are so excited to have Miss V join Sierra High School. At Sierra High School, we started the year with our zero period reading for 20 minutes as a reading initiative. The purpose of this initiative is to designate 20 minutes each morning for students to read a book of their choice to activate their minds for the day. Not to mention getting students hooked on reading. Students at Sierra High School have the opportunity to take classes at Sierra College, where they can earn both high school and college credits. We have a few students taking advantage of this opportunity this fall. Lastly, Coldstream Alternative classes are booking out really quick. Some teachers are full, so we've started a wait list. Overall, it's great to see students taking advantage of CSA. That's all.
Great, thank you both very much. Ladies from Truckee, you want to go next?
Hi, my name is Ocean Odell, and I'm the ASB secretary.
And my name is Reese Hoffman. I'm the ASB parliamentarian. So we've had a super successful start to the school year. It's been super fun and awesome. So we just wanted to come here and say some things that we've done and what we're looking forward to. So to start, before school actually started, we had Senior Sunrise, which was up at Rainbow Bridge, and it was super fun. It was a great way to start the school year as like seniors, and it was super successful. We got a ton of pictures, if any of you guys saw them, and they were super fun. And then on our second day of school, we actually did a rally out in the Surprise Stadium, which is the first time we've ever done that. It was super successful. We welcomed all the students back. Everyone had an awesome summer. We talked about the Spirit Cup and just dress-up days, what we expect at Truckee High, all of our rules. We reminded everyone to follow the social media because we're trying to integrate that a lot this year. We introduced new and improved Wally, which is super exciting. And we talked about the individual grades, which was also super awesome. And our classes are going super well. We're super excited with all of our new staff members and administrative members. And our sports are going super well. And it's just been a really awesome start so far. So what's coming up for Truckee High is tomorrow is actually our homecoming court nominations. So during SS, we're going and doing that for each grade level and then 4 for the senior grade level. And then Clubapalooza is September 14th, which is our outreach for all the clubs. So we're going to introduce all of our clubs. And we also have back to school night that night.
We're having our first Friday Night Lights football game is the 15th, and the theme is whiteout. This year, we're trying to do themes that are more basic and easy to give people more, increase spirit and get more people to be involved with the dress-up days. And then we're also trying to incorporate something called a spirit table, which we will have for rallies and games where people will be able to put on simple things like red paint or necklaces or possibly getting foam fingers, just so people have that option to have school spirit and show it, and it's available for them right when they get to the games. And then we're having our homecoming week, which is September 18th through the 23rd. The theme is Back to the Future. And the freshmen are the 80s, the sophomores are the 50s, the juniors are the 90s, and the seniors are the 70s. And then we're having our Powder Puff game the 19th, and our homecoming rally on the 22nd, and our homecoming dance September 23rd. And that's it.
Great, thank you. And I forgot to ask, did you guys have any questions for our student reps for either Truckee or Sierra High so far?
I have a question
Sorry.
for Reese and Ocean, because they were in my 10th grade English honors class a couple of years ago. Are you taking
Rooney.
AP Lit now?
We actually,
I'm taking out the college.
yeah, I took it over the summer at the college.
Well, you
Still
could have
there.
that class with Mrs. Mooney, too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've seen her a few times.
yeah, we've seen her around.
Yeah.
So ladies, can you tell us what the Wally is?
So Wally is our mascot. So we had the same mascot for years and years and years. And so we got a new suit this year, and we decided to make an Instagram page for him. So he walks around the school and he interacts with students, and we're just trying to have it hype up the spirit. Leadership also has their own Wally that we're going around and making 1-minute videos, every student in leadership. So we're using that to incorporate Wally, but Wally is just our mascot, but we really want to utilize the great opportunity of getting a new suit this year and just bringing more fun to it and spirit and have it hype everyone up.
Yeah, so last year I went to the CASTLE, which is the California Association of Student Leaders conference, and there we learned a lot about incorporating mascots to improve school spirit and giving school members a feeling that they belong there and that they have a connection to our mascot and our school. So we talked about social media, just something so simple, but having a page and having things like meet and greets for our mascot, which the students can actually interact with the mascot, would really incorporate him into our new school district. And now that we have a new one, we're really looking forward to getting our school spirit up and incorporating our mascot more.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you guys have anything for Sierra High? Any questions for Sierra High? Okay, sorry about that. All right, how about North Tahoe High School?
Okay. Hi, my name is Valerie Laguna, and I am North Tahoe Junior Class President.
Hi, my name is Brianna Muldrow, and I am the Junior Vice President. First, we would like to celebrate that school is off to a great start. The campus, it's very positive, and the school spirit is coming on strong.
Link are prepared to welcome our new freshmen through a 2-day training, including spending the night at the school. And although many seniors were scared with their presumed encounter with the ghost of Janitor Bob, they were ready to welcome the freshmen at half-day orientation and the first day of school.
Fall sports are well underway, having started at the beginning of August. This week has a full schedule of sporting events, including our home cross-country invitational meet on Friday.
Back to School Night is September 12th, and our PTO is hosting a new parent social event called Clubapalooza, where parents can get connected with PTO, Boosters, Fan Club, and Grit. Boosters is also in the process of revitalizing our Elegant Affair fundraiser. Look for it this November.
Students will also have Clubapalooza event this month, September 20th, organized by Student Leadership. This is an event where students can see all the clubs at North Tower High School and join where their interest leads them.
Details about our annual fall homecoming will come next month, as it is October 13th and will be our only football game under the lights this year.
We also have a wonderful new vice principal, Jason Fleesock, and all of the students recognize and appreciate his hard work to make our school a more energetic place for all students. And that's it.
Again, I forgot. Any questions? Okay, sorry about that. All right, so next on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Clerk Hennessy. And I'm just going to be echoing the students. It has been a fabulous start of the school year.
Thank you.
I had the chance to stop by all the schools on the first day, and it's amazing. It was so calm and organized, lots of smiling students and families for those first day of school pictures, and then lots of good, positive culture-building activities in the classrooms across the district. And then fast forwarding to today was day 6 of the school year, and I'm making my second round, and it is so amazing how fast the students are getting into the routines and procedures. I was in a kindergarten class this morning at Truckee L, and they're already starting their centers, and the kids are working independently, and this just shows me how amazing our TTUSD staff is. We have really talented staff, and the kids and teachers and staff members are off to a really good start. And then echoing our student reps also, back to school nights are starting. So tomorrow, Tahoe Lake Elementary and Glenshire Elementary for grades 3 through 5 have a back to school night. And then next week, we have others. So families should check the school's website or their weekly newsletter to make sure they get the right date and time. But we're looking forward to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of a resolution. Superintendent Kramer, can you talk about resolution number 3?
Absolutely, and I'm actually going to turn to Dr. Anna Marie Cohen, our Executive Director of Student Services.
All right. Thank you, Superintendent Kramer, Board of Trustees and Community. So school attendance is essential to student achievement and graduation. This resolution supports the message that school attendance matters for all areas of school success and prepares students for college and/or a career. TTUSD supports Attendance Awareness Month during September 2023. On behalf of Superintendent Kramer, I will read into record Resolution Number 3, 2023-2024. Tahoe Truckee Unified School District proclaims September as Attendance Awareness Month. Whereas good attendance is essential to student achievement and graduation, and we are committed to dedicating our resources and attention to reducing chronic absenteeism rates with a focus starting as early as kindergarten. Whereas chronic absence, missing 10% or more of school for any reason, including excused and unexcused absences, or just 2 of 3 days a month, is a proven predictor of academic trouble and dropout rates. Whereas improving attendance and reducing chronic absence takes commitment, collaboration, and tailored approaches to particular challenges and strengths in each community. Whereas chronic absence predicts lower third-grade reading proficiency, course failure, and eventual dropout, it weakens our communities and our local economy. Whereas schools and community partners can reach out more frequently to absent students to determine why they are missing school and what would help them attend more regularly. Whereas schools and districts must do more to track, calculate, and share the data on how many students are chronically absent so that we can deliver the right interventions to the right students. Whereas all students, even those who show up regularly, are affected by chronic absence because teachers must spend time reviewing for students who missed lessons. Whereas chronic absence can be significantly reduced when schools, parents, and communities work together to monitor and promote good attendance and address hurdles that keep children from getting to school. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Superintendent Chief Learning Officer of Tahoe Truckee Unified School District proclaims that our schools will stand with the nation in recognizing September as Attendance Awareness Month. We hereby commit to focusing on reducing chronic absenteeism to give all children an equitable opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive academically, emotionally, and socially. It is staff's recommendation the Board of Trustees adopt Resolution Number 3, 2023-2024, Attendance Awareness Month.
Okay, thank you. Is there any public comment on this resolution? Any comment from the board or questions from the board? Okay, then we need a motion to approve this resolution, please.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution Number 3, 2023-2024, establishing September as Attendance Awareness Month.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is our consent agenda. Superintendent Kramer, does the district intend to pull anything from this agenda?
No, Clerk Hennessy.
Okay. Do the board members have anything they'd like pulled from this agenda? Okay. So then could we please get a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And I did need to make an explanation regarding my vote is for the sake of transparency and item 11.4, the personnel action report. My wife Mira Mooney is on that report for being hired as a drama teacher drama director and a musical director for Truckee High School. And normally I would abstain from that vote, but if I did that, we wouldn't be able to pass.
Correct.
11.4, and there's a lot of people waiting for employment regarding that particular item. So, had in mind, there's no conflict, but I did want to make that clear.
Great, thank you for that transparency. Okay, so I'm sorry, but I'm a little confused about item number 12. We didn't have any items
so we can
pulled,
get-
so we can move forward? Okay, thank you. Are there any representatives from either of our employee associations or education association here this evening? Not seeing anyone, so we will bypass item 13.0, which is the association report and comment. And now, next on the agenda, personnel items.
And for this item, I'm going to ask our Assistant Superintendent, Chief Business Officer, Todd Rivera, to speak to item 14.1.
Great.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the Board of Trustees. So tonight, we're bringing a position forward to you. It's a new position that we feel is serving two needs in the district. When Rob Coster accepted the position of Director of Facilities Maintenance and Operations, we did not backfill his position. And now that our large-scale projects are winding down a little bit, we're thinking we don't need a full-time project manager at this point. That could change, obviously, in the future. But also, we were recognizing a need to return to monitoring our energy usage and looking at opportunities for energy efficiency and performing research and finding projects that could save the district operations cost in the future and sustainability initiatives as well. So we're doing a split position. It's called the Project Manager Energy Conservation and Sustainability Coordinator. So a pretty long handle there, a lot of responsibilities. We did have a similar position in the district many years ago. However, this position is a little bit more defined, and we highlight their expectations and responsibilities a little differently. So with that, we feel that this position is definitely needed in the district at this time.
Okay, great. And are there any public comments on this item? Seeing none, about board comments or questions?
Just a comment, I think that this would be interesting for our students to understand that this position is coming up, in part because we had the request to look at sort of our climate action policies. And I think this is, one of those actions that's very measurable, that we're looking at hiring a staff person to focus, specifically on sustainability and our energy conservation. And so when we get into that eventual presentation we'll have, I think this should come up again to kind of highlight this one of many actions that the district is taking to kind of look at our overall impact within our communities. So I think this is very helpful and very timely for us to be talking about.
Yep, good point. Okay, so with this item then, it is an info action item. Could we get a motion, please, to approve this job description?
I'll make a motion to approve the job description for project manager and energy conservation sustainability coordinator.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I just want to make a note that the board does get information ahead of time, and we do have homework, and we do turn in questions. So even though, it seems like the meeting is just moving along, there have been questions asked, and we just want the public to know that we have done our homework. Okay, next item, business services facilities.
And for this, we'll also have Mr. Rivera speak to 15.1.
Thank you. So this is a contract with Ward Young Architects to do the design on a very exciting project, something that's been delayed in the past, but that is converting our old Truckee High School pool building into an indoor field space. So a lot of work was done during the bond program. It was used as interim storage and some interim housing for staff. But the intent was always to convert that space into an indoor field. So with that, this is moving forward with the final design on that product, and then we're hoping next year we'll actually be able to lay turf and have students start using that. And the
Okay.
amount is $132,000, sorry.
Thank you.
I'll just disclose that I work with Ward Young a lot in my profession, and they're great to work with. They're very intuitive. They know our environment. They know how to work with clients. So I saw this and thought that was great. That's all.
Now, I'll second that, and then this later. But Ward Young, I think, has been doing work for the school district since the early 90s, Larry Young. And a lot of the renovations you see around the district was some of their work. And I am so happy to see that that old pool building to be turned into a field house. What a great idea to provide additional PE area during, the great weather that we have here in the winter. So, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's a great idea.
Okay, so seeing no public comment on this item, I'll ask for a motion, please.
I'll move to approve the Ward Young agreement for the Truckee High School field house.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Excuse me, aye. Thank you. Next item, fiscal services.
So for 15.2 and 15.3, we'll be asking Mr. Rivera to speak to that as well.
Thank you. So tonight, we are presenting the annual debt report for Tahoe Truckee Unified for the 2022-23 school year. And just as a reminder, our board policy actually identifies this as a requirement as part of our issuance of debt, that annually we report to what the status of our overall debt is that the district has issued, also looking at our projected tax rates that we promised our voters, looking at our bonding capacity for the district, and I'll explain what that is moving forward, our ratings, and then any opportunities that we have for potentially refinancing our debt. So looking at our current outstanding debt, what you'll see there is general obligation bonds going back to our 1999 bond measures. That was Measure C and Measure R. We've done some refinancings in the past as well. And then looking forward to the election of 2014, that's our Measure E and Measure U bonds. We're showing what the original issuance amount, how long the maturity dates are on those bonds, the longest being, of course, Measure U and E, which goes out to 2047. And then what currently we have outstanding in principal for those general obligation bond measures, so a total of $157 million, and that is all taxpayer-based general obligation bonds. And then at the bottom there, we had certificates of participation that we did issue in 2019, and that was to complete our bond program and finish all the projects that we promised voters. We issued $40 million. We have 36.7 still outstanding, and that is actually backed by district general fund. We're paying the debt service currently with developer fees, so it's not impacting our general fund, but those are definitely budget-backed securities. Looking at our tax rates, and what that is on general obligation bonds, you're always looking at how much taxpayers are required to pay on a per $100,000 assessed value. If you have a home where the assessed value is $100,000, then for our SFID number 1, and I'll explain that in just a second, would be $53.16. If you have a house that's assessed at $500,000, you would take $53.16 and multiply that by 5, and that's what you would see on your tax bill. SFID number 1, we have our district separated into two distinct school facilities improvement districts, and that's because we have very distinct needs in different parts of our district. So SFID number 1 essentially is our Truckee area of the district, but also includes portions of Placer County. That includes North Star up to just before Squaw Valley. And then our school facilities improvement district number 2 is pretty much all of the West Shore and North Shore of our district. So SFID number 2, the tax rate is $52.46 per $100,000 of assessed value. And this is cumulative of all those bond measures that I shared on the previous page or the previous slide. Just to give you some reference, however, Measure U and Measure E, what the tax rates on those specific bond measures, because it is important to look at what we originally promised taxpayers and what has actually occurred. So right now, Measure U, the payment on that tax rate is $31.34 per $100,000 assessed value, and we had originally gone out to voters saying that we wouldn't exceed $48.25. So quite a bit of savings. We really took advantage of low interest rates at the time to save taxpayers money, but also our assessed values have continued to increase, and that basically diminishes the tax rate as well. Measure E, as a comparison, is $19.09 per $100,000 in assessed value, and we promised voters that we wouldn't exceed $29.75. Moving forward and looking at our projected tax rates, obviously this is done on a very conservative level. We're looking at annual assessed value growth every year of 3.25%. So that's pretty low in comparison to what we've actually been seeing over the past several years. And then they have some other criteria in there as well. But looking at the chart here for SFID number 1, we're showing that 2024 and beyond, we'll see some upticks in our tax rates, and then as we start paying off some of that principal from the older bond measures, we see it level off for several years, and then in the final years of debt service, you'll see that go down to a very minimal level for our taxpayers. And I can already say 2024, the tax rate that's estimated there, it's going to be less because our assessed values came in much higher than 3.25%. Similar with SFID number 2, see a little bit of an uptick above the $60 per $100,000 mark for all of our bond measures out there, and then as debt as principal is paid off for those older measures, you'll see that start to decline, and then again in the final years it's a very nominal amount for taxpayers. Looking at our bonding capacity, essentially what that is for a unified school district, it's the amount of debt that we can issue as an entity, and the way that's calculated and based is they take our entire assessed value of all the properties within our district boundaries, and that's multiplied by 2.5%. So that's for a unified school district, which we are. So our bonding capacity is just under $737 million. We currently have the outstanding debt that we shared earlier, so that leaves our bonding capacity at about almost $580 million. So we have quite a bit of capacity left to still issue additional debt within the district. Looking at credit ratings, we have always ranked pretty high when it comes to our bond measure credit ratings. There's two main credit rating agencies that we go through, Moody's and Standard & Poor's. So right now, they all measure things a little bit differently, but primarily they look at our local economy and tax base. So that's a very important piece they want to see basically what's the likelihood of our taxpayers paying off that debt service. So we're very secure in our community. The other is our district finances. Obviously, we budget conservatively. We look at a multi-year projection, and we're financially sustainable. So that's a big piece as well. Looking at any other debt and obligations that we have the COPs, but then when you look at pension obligations, which are post-retirement benefits that a lot of agencies have very big liabilities for, we're very low in that area. And then looking at district management and how the district is operated and ran is another factor. So right now for Moody's, we have for our general obligation bonds, it's AA1, which is considered a high grade rating. And then for Standard & Poor's, we are AA. And then looking at our certificates of participation, we're a AA minus, and that's pretty common for certificates of participation to be a little bit lower level in the rating than a general obligation bond, because like I said, it is backed by the actual district finances, not taxpayer. Market update, this is just kind of looking at the trend for treasury rates, and everyone's probably heard out there that treasury rates are going up, interest rates are going up. So unlike when we issued our general obligation bonds for Measure E and Measure U, the interest rates are much higher now, which would equate to a higher cost to taxpayers if we were to issue bonds at the present time. Another thing we always look at is any refunding opportunities, and what refundings are essentially are refinancing. Like you would refinance the mortgage on your house. You look for a lower interest rate, opportunities for that to save the taxpayers' dollars in the future moving forward. So essentially, if on a current refunding, if the bond measures are callable, then you would issue a new bond measure to pay off the old principal, and then now you would have a new debt service at hopefully a lower interest rate. And then looking at some of the developments just with California bond financings right now. One of the things, the top there, Investing in Our Communities Act, that's a standalone bill right now that basically is trying to reverse some tax law changes that occurred in 2017. In 2017, they changed the rules on how districts could do advanced refundings on general obligation bonds and took away the ability to issue those on a tax-exempt status. So essentially what happens when you remove the tax-exempt status on a public bond is that you have to increase the interest rate or the interest payments that you'll make in order to attract investors, because they no longer have that exempt status for their coupon payments. So with an advanced refunding, the difference between that and a current refunding is that your bonds that you're trying to refund or refinance may not be callable until a later date in the future. So essentially you would issue bonds, take the proceeds, put it in an escrow account, and then pay off the debt service until those bonds become callable, and then you can retire the debt. So all that's calculated in, but that's the big difference on advanced refundings. We still have the ability to issue tax exempt on a current refunding. Senate Bill 532. So what this does is take away, anytime we go out for a bond measure, we're required to do, and it's counted to the letter, a 75-word ballot label, and in the past, they always had us include certain financial disclosures in that, so that took away from what you could describe to try to attract voters, right? So, so now there's something out there that's saying if this is approved, then you can have those financial disclosures on a separate document, meaning that you have more space to really highlight your bond measure and what it'll be used for. So on the statewide level, there are two proposals for statewide bond measures for school facilities, both for K-12 and K-14. So Assembly Bill 247, right now it's not a specific amount for funding, but this would be through the school facilities program. The state would issue general obligation bonds as they've done in the past and would provide opportunities for school districts to apply for those funds. Same thing with Senate Bill 28, but it's restricted to $15.5 billion, which is a pretty significant amount in comparison to other facilities-related bond measures that we've seen for K-12 school districts. And this is just highlighted in our policy as far as what we're responsible for when it comes to issuing debt, that we're responsible to look at all these different items. Any questions?
Trustee Mooney, do you have any questions?
No, very thorough. Thank you.
Yeah, same through.
No, I'm good, thank you, and there's no public to ask for public comments, so thank you, Mr. Rivera, and this is an action item. So can we please get a motion to approve? I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the other one. Yes, sorry. Okay, so let's move on to 15.3, please.
Mr. Rivera?
Thank you. So this is an agreement that we bring to the board annually. This is our agreement with Sierra Expeditionary Learning School for their operations side of things. This is not their petition. Their petition we've approved many years ago, and it's good for several years. This is just basically identifying all the services and things that we're going to provide for Sierra Expeditionary Learning School. So it includes our facilities, what we'll charge them for utilities, and then any services that we'll provide them. We do provide SELS with special education services. We provide them with transportation services. And then one change this year is we will be providing them with the expanded learning opportunity program services because we already have that agreed with Boys and Girls Club. So they're just going to basically pay us. It'll be kind of a pass-through agreement where they pay us to provide those services for them. We also do provide the transitional kindergarten services for Sierra Expeditionary Learning School as well.
I'm not seeing any public for public comment. Questions or comments from the board?
No.
Nope. Okay, could we get a motion, please, to approve this agreement?
I'll move to approve the financial and operational agreement between Truckee Unified School District and Sierra Expeditionary Learning School.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And we are at the end of our meeting, so comments of the board. Do you want to start, Mr. Mooney?
Sure, just briefly, as I mentioned earlier, as we spoke about earlier, I went around to some of the opening days of schools, and I was really impressed with some of the physical improvements that I saw in the buildings, and as also the, kids that were excited, and it's just, reminds me of that first day of school when you have that feeling that anything is possible. That anything and that you can do anything this year. It's starting fresh every year, and that kind of excitement is almost tangible. So I hope all the kids and teachers have a great year this year, and staff members as well.
Let's see, I went to convocation for the first time, so that was new for me. And I want to thank Ed because it took me back to high school. I felt like I was in a pep rally. And just the energy in that room I can't even explain it. I just think everyone was really excited, just seeing everyone light up when they kind of saw people they knew and sort of, the things that they wanted to work on. And that was just an amazing feeling, so I appreciate going to that. And then, I forget what we called it, but the new sort of teacher orientation, so we went to that also, and I think as a new person coming into the district, that just seemed very helpful. Everyone had really good feedback about that, which was exciting. And then, yeah, I feel like the vibe in the community right now is just very excited about having everyone back in school, and I feel it from the kids, whether you're, kind of seeing them in the grocery store or out and about in the communities, just everyone's kind of got a really positive feel right now, which I think is great.
Same here. I did not actually attend First Days, but I did attend Convocation, and yes, Mr. Hilton, party planner over there. I thought it was a great convocation, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not remembering having a keynote speaker before. Am I wrong about that?
We did it last year also.
Oh, so last year I was home with the crud. And I cried. She was so amazing, and just the way she talked about her passion for education and connection, and I know that's one of your goals, to reconnect with staff and teachers, and I mean, you have a gift with connecting with students, so, and I agree, the vibe was just so high, the energy was so high, and yeah, I'm also looking forward to a very positive, fun year for us adults too, not just the kids. I know the teachers are going to provide that, but for us adults as well. And then as a board, we've been hitting different departments of the district, transportation, warehouse, the district office, and it's just been, for me, it's been really fun to do that, and it just kind of, I like doing that because it's a connection with everyone, but it gives me a sense of pride and ownership for this district, so that the stewardship throughout the year it's off to a good start, like it's focused. And I was glad that as we have 2 new board members that you could attend, because I remember that. I remember my first year and driving in the car with Dr. Leary to all the school sites and all the departments, and I was just like, wow, this school district is amazing. And I know that you already know that as parents and as a retired teacher, but just how cool is that, right? I think that's all I have, but yeah, just happy new school year to everyone. Yeah, thank you. Do you have anything? No. All right, then this